All right, everybody. Joining me now, she's a singer-songwriter out of the great state of New York. Krisi Ardito, how you doing?
Hey, what's up? How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How's the New York City lifestyle treating you?
So I'm actually on Long Island
Long Island,
and New
okay. Do
York
people
City is
do people
very
get
close.
that? Do people get that mixed up, or do people just like mix them all together or anything like that? Or
So when you live here, I mean, people generally know what part of New York you're from. I mean, very few people in this
outsiders,
area.
outsiders like me, just put them all together.
Yeah, when you live outside of New York, everybody assumes it's New York City. So you get New York City and,
So
it's
so
my
I get a
backyard.
pass, right? I get a pass.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was born in Queens, so I mean, it's a borough, but yeah, not Manhattan.
All right.
So,
Well, as long as you give me a
um,
pass, as long as you give me a pass, I'm cool.
you get a
Uh,
pass, don't you worry.
I'm from
Yeah,
Florida, so I get a break, hopefully.
yeah, I'll take it easy on you.
I know one of my good friends, he's from New York, and yeah, it takes a like New Yorkers have like their own sense of humor, and sometimes people think they're brash, but I don't see that, but I just think people are soft, that's what New Yorkers think, right? People are like, oh, they're just soft, they can't handle the sense of humor and the
You gotta be tough. You gotta be tough here. And I think a lot of people are soft, but the minute you get on their bad side, they'll show you, like
yeah, when you gotta hit the subway every day and like, I
Oh, believe me, I don't take the subway unless it's mandatory because, you see a lot of crazy things on there. Sometimes there's nothing going on, but these days especially, you got a lot more things going on the subway. So you got to always keep your eyes open. Other than that, people generally will leave you alone.
well, I'm gonna put you on the oh, what happened there?
Sorry.
You okay?
Yeah,
That
I'm good. I should have grabbed my stand. I'm not like,
well,
yeah.
I'm gonna edit this anyway, so we're good. That will be like it never happened on the video.
I'll be like, whoop,
So I'm gonna put you on the spot. Yankees or Mets?
Yankees.
Have you been to games? You're not a baseball person?
Oh, no, many games. I played softball when I was younger. I played softball. I was an all-star. I had a 615 batting average. I was a pretty good baseball player. And in my family, you had to be in baseball to be like allowed to eat at the dinner table. So
Is
my
it is there a is there as rivalry as like is it as big as rivalry as people think from the outside? Like
yeah, yeah, it can be. It can be. I mean, it's not a
they're in
the
different
rivalry. The
leagues, so
rivalry has taken a back seat to some other rivalries these days, but generally it's more of a fun thing now. It's not like I'm not gonna lie though, when you go to a Yankee Met game and the Yankees lose and it's at their own stadium, you don't want to hear any team that beats the Yankees at Yankees team. You don't want to hear anybody say anything. You're ready to just pounce on them.
yeah, yeah, but and they're in different leagues. So one's American League, one's National League. So I get
Well,
I
there's only one league here, and it's New York baseball, and
that's it. That's it.
you either ride or die with some or all. It's
Yeah, I
definitely
know.
fun. It's fun though, it's fun because people can go to more than one major league game. I've had
Mm,
many people have invited me to Mets games. I'm not a Met fan, but I'll go. I'm a New York fan at heart, so I don't mind.
yeah. Uh I'm sure the beer is kind of expensive though, like the drinks and like
Everything is so expensive.
I,
Parking, even
I don't
taking
know
the
if you know
train,
this, but Florida has no state income tax. So I don't know what you're talking about when it comes to state tax.
Well,
I
that's why
know.
everyone's moving there from New York.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. That's
So you
how
got a lot
Florida
of more people. They
Florida
might start once they realize how many people are coming there for that.
yeah. All right. So let's talk about music. I see you have a lot of covers. I saw some covers that you did like 4 years ago, 3 years ago, and then you have a cover band. So why covers? Like,
Um,
how'd you get into music in general, wherever you want to begin?
well, long story short, I've been singing like my whole life. I always knew I could sing at a young age, but I didn't have the confidence then. So as I got older and kind of came in my own and I would try out for things and people would say, you're a great singer. You have to work on your presence, your stage presence. So I never had the money. I didn't come from a family that had like you know, a huge income. So I didn't like get put into classes and vocal lessons and things like that. I think I took a course when I was younger and that was really it. So I started singing on my own and just to music that I loved growing up and on my like and back in the day when you had like the machine like the voice machine, what is it called, the messaging machine, when they first came out and you could like leave a message like, oh, you called the Arditos, please leave a message. Like I used to
Mm.
sing into that thing and try to
Dial
listen
up.
to myself back.
You're talking about dial
Yeah.
up.
So yeah, like I went to a couple of like The Voice and American Idol auditions, and they had said the same thing. You have a great voice, but you seem like work on your performance. So I just started going to karaoke. I always was a hard worker, and I've worked a lot in my life. So I used to work, and then me and my coworkers would go after work to karaoke bars, and we'd drink and eat and have fun, and it just became more serious because people would always give me feedback like, you're really great, you should really
Mm,
do this, you should really focus on this. So it just became it became my lessons actually
mm.
going to karaoke. And the band stuff, I mean, I always sang solo, and then I did radio. I actually, because of singing, I got into radio, and I was doing radio on a actual terrestrial FM station here for a little bit. I was a live co-host video, like we would actually go to location and have different acts, somewhat like yourself. We'd have different acts from all over the country, some bands and some artists from over the world. They'd come on and we'd interview them and we'd ask them about their experiences and how they got started.
So you get what
It
I'm
was
doing. So you're like, of
yes,
course I'll
a
do
hundred
this.
percent.
I get what this guy's doing.
Yeah, that's why when you reached out to me, I was like, "Oh, of course, hell yeah!" To be on the interview, people like Wonder Mike from Rapper's Delight, the original Sugar Hill Gang. I've rapped Rapper's Delight with him before. I've had D. Snyder, so Mark Mendoza from Twisted Sister. He's the bass player. He was my mentor, and I've met a lot of great musicians because of. I'm sorry about this. I should probably grab. I've met a lot of great musicians because of work being on the radio show. I've had some great opportunities. I've met a lot of great people. I've had some great connections. So then when I was doing radio for a while, I really realized that it took a lot of time away from doing anything with singing. And I really wanted to focus on singing because with so much time in my day after working all day and then working a second job, I really wanted to get into singing more. And once I stopped doing radio, I took a break, which I love doing radio and I love doing TV broadcasting, but I felt like to get the singing stuff going, I had to kind of take, a break from the radio
What
stuff. And when I did, it was like just kind of blew up.
what kind of radio are we talking about? Morning radio, music, like all over? Like what local station?
They're local stations, but they were being broadcasted like, Facebook Live.
Oh,
One
okay,
of the
okay.
one of the stations was an actual broadcasting station, and it was on different internet outlets. Nothing, nothing major. We were like local, like like a small group trying
Right,
to
right.
trying to
Trying
get
to
bigger, trying to make
yeah,
it big. And
yeah.
so I think that's hard. I think it's very difficult to get people to be interested in what you're doing as a TV
Well,
broadcaster
I'm a
because you
small
have to,
podcast, so I get what you're saying in the grand scheme of things.
yeah,
I
it's
get
it's
what
a
you're
lot.
saying. I get what you're
It's a
saying.
lot of work. It's a lot of production. It's a lot of time. So for me, it was like, where do I want to put my focus? And when I started focusing again on music and singing, I had performed for years. I opened for Raina, she's like a dance diva here on Long Island. I mean, in New York, but she's had
Mhm.
some big anthems that are been played all over the world. Um, I've had some great opportunities. So I feel like, once I started focusing again more on the music, it kind of made me realize like, what, this is where I really need to focus because I think that I have a great talent. I'm not like gonna blow my own horn, but I've worked very hard to get to this point. And, I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still meeting a lot of people that make me feel like you know, I have to step my game up and I have to try different ways to do things because, you know, a lot of people could be doing the same things. Me, I've always believed that to be different and to be bigger, you have to do something different. So I focus on original music when I can. So I do have a couple of my own dance tracks out on Spotify and Apple Music, YouTube. I've been featured on a couple of EDM tracks, and then I have my first original single that I just wrote. I came out with in March of last year, of this year. I'm sorry, and it's a work in progress. But I'm actually I book studio time. I'm working on original music now. I have some more stuff to record. So I'm kind of like just everywhere. You know, I do a lot of solo stuff. I do a lot of cover music. I'm in a band and I'm working on some originals. So
It's kind of, you kind of found what you're good at and you're just going with it. I know the original music can be kind of, it can be kind of tough to get um traction because there's like oversaturation of artists. Talk about the New York scene and how it must be crazy up there, huh?
there's a ridiculous amount of talent here. I mean, not even just where I'm in, you know, I'm in Long Island, on Long Island, and it's very competitive here. The competition here as far as musicians and vocalists and, you know, even my solo stuff. So like I sing with a speaker and I sing with my laptop. I could sing anything. I literally put on any pop,
Mhm.
rock, R&B. I'll sing Lionel Richie, Lenny Kravitz, Guns N' Roses. I sing everything. And when you're in this world of like live musicians on Long Island, when you try to get these bookings places, like it's hard. They already have a rotation of people they use. There's people that are playing instruments. Um, the competition, original music, I think that the best thing these days is anybody could do it. You could literally record yourself at home on
Mhm.
your computer if you have some equipment or if you have some apps, and
Right.
you can make your own music at home. And I think that's a blessing and a curse because I think that the talent out there, the talent that is being swept under the rug, or the talent that really has the talent but maybe they don't have the resources, you know, you're never going to hear those people because there's no such thing as like production companies anymore going out and performing your original music like artists did back in the day.
So one of the reasons why I reached out to you is because I could tell that you have a great voice and presence. Um, and I could tell that there's, you know, obviously you're very talented. Um, so what's your goal for the rest of this year and next year? Are you trying to get more like traction with original music? Are you going to stay with is it the mix up, right? Is that what it is? So
Yep, my
what's
cover
the
band is called The Mix Up.
so what's the plan? Are you trying to do both lanes? Like what's the update like for next year, you think?
So I think overall my goal is to uh, it's funny because I have a lot of things that I want to do and I'm trying my best to execute them right now. So my main focus at the moment is my original music. I've been writing for years. I've always found it difficult to find people that you could work with, like production wise and engineering, that really know what they're doing and want the product to come out good and not just make money off of you. I've had people that I've worked with, we've put money in and work into the studio and like have had no outcome, nothing's been finished, no product. And it's sad because it's like you put all this work and this energy into something for it to just go years collecting dust, or to feel like, you know, you're really proud of something and you want it to grow, you want it to become bigger, but you can't get it finished because of rights or because of copywriting or because the person is just like, well, I'm not doing this anymore. And it's like, but you know, like we were doing it and we didn't finish it, but now you're telling me you don't want to finish it. So you kind of get stuck. Like that's why a lot of people like find it easier to make their own music and do their own thing at home now. But I don't really have that capability. So I found somebody actually I have a good connection that hooked me up with an American Idol alum. He is a artist manager and uh, you know, he's still doing music himself. So he's a recording artist and he's doing artist management. He has a studio. So I booked some time with him. We're going to work on a song that I wrote. And I'm really excited because I feel like he's a professional He knows, what he's doing. He seems really excited about it. And I feel like those are the people that get me excited about recording original music. Because you want people to tell you what they think, you want the feedback. Like, hey, like, what do you think of this? Like, I'm not the best singer in the world. I'm not the smartest person in the world. Like, if you hear something different than me, I want to hear it. I want to hear what you say, or just having someone else's opinion. Like, you know what? Try it like this, or throw
Mm.
this in there. Like, that's what gets me excited about getting into a recording studio and like working on a song. Um,
When did you start music? What year? And when did you really start taking it seriously?
like recording music
Yeah, yeah,
or,
yeah.
oh God,
When did you
I
start
had
taking
guy
it seriously?
I had guy friends when I was younger that were rappers, and they'd be like, "Hey, I need you on a hook." And I've been doing this since my 20s, like my early 20s, probably about, I want to say like 2000, 2001.
Wow, yeah.
So, a long time. And I've had like space in between where I stopped, or like, you're going through things. Like, I lived in Arizona for a brief period of time. My parents, when I was young, had sold their house here, moved there. So I lived there for a little bit. But even out there, found a guy, like I had an ex whose friend was a rapper, he's a producer, and we would just jive. And, you know, everywhere I go, it's just great to meet people who are like-minded and are like, have the same interest. And in music, like, I've never found music for me to be competitive, even though you feel like sometimes like, oh, you're not doing this or that like other people
Mhm,
are. But I never felt like mad or jealous or like anger towards anybody because they were doing something
mhm,
that I wanted to do, or maybe I thought they sounded better than me. But everybody has their own voice. So for me, it's like, I know what I'm capable of. I love all genres. I could sing many different genres, one of the reasons why I got on radio is because I do impressions. So I used to do impressions. So when I sang, when I went to karaoke, I could mimic other artists' voices all the time.
yeah.
So
Who's your
I could have
go-to?
the ability. My go-to vocal, like I could do Lady Gaga pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, I could sing, I've sang some, when I sing like the male songs, like with my band, I sing like Shook Me All Night Long.
Yeah.
And there's like a really harsh rasp in that vocal, but I think I do pretty good at nailing it, for a female. Um, but I sing everything. My go-to, oh my God, I could say, I literally love everything. So it's hard to say, but I would say Mary J. Blige. Um, I love Lady Gaga, Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys. I do Alicia Keys very well. Alanis Morissette. So like a lot of different genres, a lot of
What
different
kind
types of
of
music.
what kind of music did you listen to growing up? Like what? Like
Hip hop, rap,
yeah,
R&B.
yeah.
And then throw some like pop in there, like In Sync. I loved In Sync. God, when I was younger, I loved In Sync. I was like doing the dance moves.
Do you remember when it was people would be like either NSYNC or Backstreet Boys, pick one? Like there was no both. You either had to pick one or the other.
Oh yeah,
I
you
remember
weren't like
that.
in between. If you were in between, you weren't really a fan. You were just like, oh yeah, they're cute. But no, I was an NSYNC girl for sure. Justin Timberlake, if you ever see this, I
You're
might.
giving me too much credit. You're giving me too much credit, but I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm from the South, so I was on like the Atlanta, like I was really big into the Atlanta music scene, like 50, and
Oh
we just
yeah.
lost Rich Homie Quan. That was sad. But yeah, there was the Atlanta music scene was on fire back then. But
Oh yeah. I
you
love
know,
all hip hop. I'm anything that sounds good. Like even now, like I listen to still a lot of old school hip hop and R&B. Like I'll just be jamming to, Fabulous, 112. I love, like I if you ever see my Spotify, like I have
mm,
Spotify account, right? And on my Spotify, like I have all these different playlists, and I have a playlist. It's like a hip hop and R&B playlist. And if you went and listened to that playlist, there'd be songs on there. You'd be like, I forgot this even existed. Like I have a very wide range of taste of music, and hip hop. Like I was singing songs at like 12, like 13 years old, of songs I shouldn't be singing at that age. So
yeah. but then, like, if you go to a random bar, like, one thing I've always wanted to know is, do you when you go to a random bar in New York, they still play like old classic stuff from like the 80s, like old music, or is it mostly like newer stuff? Like, do you get like
Oh, it depends where you go, because like Long Island has so many, there's so many places to go and eat and drink here now. So like if you go to like a nice like steakhouse, they have DJ, like they have a DJ, or they have like EDM dance music playing. Then there's like the local bars, like you go to any one of these dive bars and the bartenders, they basically play whatever they want during their shift. So it could go anything from, 90s pop to 80s rock to like dance music from today. But no, there's definitely a lot of like 80s and 90s music being played on the island. We generally, people like when they go out, we have a lot of cover bands on Long Island.
Mhm.
So there's tons of cover bands doing like they're doing like 80s genre. They're called the 90s band, or they're called Pour Some 80s on Me, or they're the Max. It's like a 90s type vibe. There's a lot of different bands doing covers of just like one decade of music.
Mhm.
That's why my band's called the Mix Up, and we do a mix of everything because I like to sing songs that everybody likes. So we don't want to just
Oh,
do
it makes
older music.
sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. You got a good bar story? You must, because I saw your schedule. You're going from bar to bar, even this month. You have to have a good story you can
Oh God,
share.
I have so many stories.
It can
A
be
good
about
bar.
whatever. It doesn't matter.
Well, I guess one bar story, the most recent funny bar story was I was singing Beat It, and there was this rowdy like patron, and he was being a little handsy with the girls. He wanted to dance and he wasn't like listening. He wouldn't. And then he started trying to like come up close to me, and my bandmates started getting upset. So they were trying to like get him to calm down, like, stop like acting crazy. And then he got crazy. And as I'm singing Beat It, the bouncer came in and put him in like a headlock and dragged him out of the
Like
bar.
this was WWE.
Yeah, like literally, it was so funny too, because I'm like, beat it, beat it. And he just, yeah, right out the door. So, but bar stories, I mean, most of my good bar stories probably happened when I wasn't sober enough to remember them.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah, that's true. I have plenty myself. Have you met a lot of like friends in the in the scene there, like people that are going through the same thing you're going through, like as far as trying to make it and go, go from bar to bar?
Yeah, definitely. Like one thing that I've learned being a part of this cover band scene on Long Island is everybody knows everybody. If you're good, they'll know who you are.
Mhm.
Um, and the competition is very high. But
So,
I've made a very close friend.
mhm.
Actually, my one of my closest friends now, he's in a band, a cover band here, and he's also um he doesn't do he doesn't do original music, but he's in a band here, but he's also doing a Pearl Jam tribute band aside from his cover band. He's helped me a lot as far as like what to do, getting involved in the band scene and like equipment to use, and chords here, use this chord, keep it, like. And he's become one of my closest friends because like he's invited me to sing with his band before I was in a band. He'd invite me up to sing a couple of girls' songs with him and his band. I actually met him the first time interviewing him on my radio show. So I met him through another friend, and we just kind of like hit it off, and not in that way. It was like, just right away we are like, did we just become best friends? Like, because we have so much in
I know there's
common.
a movie somewhere that has that scene. It's like, did we did we just
Yeah.
become best
Step Brothers.
friends? Yeah, step
Step
brother.
Brothers.
It's like,
Kind of.
did it just happen right now?
Yep. Yep.
That's
And it
funny.
did. And and I've met some great people just in this music scene. I mean, I've realized and I've noticed a lot of people that I've met lately in this music scene have become better friends to me than people, in the past where that I was just like, single, going out, having
Mhm.
fun.
Gotcha, gotcha.
These people have become like family. They invite you over for dinner, they invite you to family barbecues,
Mhm.
they look out for you. and it's great. It's a great support system.
One thing that you said that kind of I also had a follow up on is you said cover music scene. So is there a big difference in that area with people that are doing covers and then original music? Like, can you tell the difference between like avenues people are doing up there?
Yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot of people with talent here in in the music scene, like in just when it comes to music in general. So I feel like people like me, like I do original music, but I'm also doing solo stuff at restaurants. Like I
What do
have
you
a
like doing?
residency.
What do you like doing better?
Oh, that's a tough question. They're very different. It's like I can be really like rocker and badass when I sing with the band, and people's energy is like woo, and they're into it. Like the energy
Like
of a
this?
crowd when you're
Yeah.
in the band is
Like
just so
you know.
much different than when I sing in a restaurant and I'm singing to people eating and drinking at the bar, you know. It's but I love the music that I sing when I do that. And people are always like, "Oh my God, like I love your voice. We come here every Wednesday to hear you." So it's hard to say because it's just different. The original music stuff though, I think that the only way that you could get people to hear you when you do your original stuff is like doing it on your social media, because
Nowadays,
on Long
yeah.
Island, it's very hard to get booked to do like a performance when nobody knows you, because these places want people like I have a lot of friends in the business here that promote they do promotion for restaurants and clubs or bars, and they get all these old school like freestyle artists that their one hit was from like 25 years ago, but they'll constantly get booked at all these Long Island spots because people know and like the music still. But it's like, but what about the people that are new and the up and coming artists and the new need for artists to showcase their talent? You know, it's really hard to find that. So things like this, like your show is great. And you know, we can share it on social media, but getting booked at a place like for original music, it's almost not really that it's not a thing here in Long Island. In New York City, maybe, because there's some places there where, you know, you go and you showcase and maybe you'll find somebody big that'll be looking for an artist to
Do you
sign.
ever play in New York City?
I've played at the Bitter Ends, and I've played at Prohibition. I've sang at Sony Theater. I actually do the national anthem, and I've sang at the Sony Theater. And yeah, I've had some great opportunities. It's not right down the road though, so I got to get paid a little pretty penny for no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How far are you from it?
Um, without traffic, about 45 minutes, but everywhere here is like dead stop traffic now. Just
Yeah,
going to get milk down the road is dead stop traffic. So everybody
really?
wants to move to New York or Florida. So
Oh, you got the light on now. A little bit.
oh, my microphone light,
Yeah, that's cool. Is that like a LED?
it
That's
changes
cool.
color. Yeah,
It goes from like red to whatever.
I
Yeah,
know. I
that's
love this
cool.
microphone. I figured, you know, it was definitely needed for this meeting. It's just my cord that I have to plug it into my phone.
No, it's
It's a
okay. I'm the
little
same. I'm the same way. Like I'm some of this technology gets the best out of me, you know?
I was so early too. I was like, oh, I have 10 minutes. Let me set up. Let me make sure that the video looks good.
No, it's
And I'm like,
fine. It's fine.
maybe I should have gotten the stand.
It's good. It's good. Just it's fine. Um, like who's on your playlist now? Like who do you
Oh,
listen to all the time?
that I listen to all the
Yeah,
time.
like you're talking about these long like drives and long commutes and stuff. Like who do you got right now?
So I'm a big fan of Sabrina Claudio. I think she's awesome. Teddy Swims, definitely becoming a bigger fan of Teddy Swims. Benson Boone, think he's awesome. Um, I have a lot of old school stuff that I'm always listening to. I have Sirius in the car, Sirius XM. So whenever I'm flipping through the stations, as soon as I hear a song that I love, I just like leave it on, rock out for a little bit,
Mhm.
and then change change it once I'm done. I don't like this song, and then I change to the next station. Maybe it's like a country station or to a like a rock station to hip hop, like Like I said, I love hip hop and R&B, so I have a lot of old school like hip hop and R&B on my playlist.
Yes, like I mentioned your schedule earlier, and we were talking about like I know you were kind of like when I said which one do you prefer, and you were kind of up in the air, and and even looking at your schedule, you do like two of the band and then three solo or whatever. That's a generality, Is that this? Is that usually how it is? Like your average week is you'll do two with the band or three with the band, and then you know what I'm saying? Like that's you split it down the middle.
Yeah, mix it up. Whatever, whenever like we get booked with the band, we all say like, "Hey, is everybody available this day?" And if it's availability for me, I have like some solo stuff. But so I have a residency at an Italian restaurant in another town on Long Island. So like I'm there every Wednesday night. I sing in the bar. And so Wednesdays for me are like that's the only day that I always have the same gig booked. And then anytime we get booked with the band, as long as I'm not booked with a solo gig, I'm good for it. So I try not to overload myself. Like last year I was busy. I was working my full-time job and I was doing about 4 gigs, 3 or 4 gigs a week on top of band
So
prep.
is this like you have your 9 to 5 and then this is kind of like something you're doing like kind of adding on?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm from New York, the most expensive place to live
Yeah.
in the country, maybe if the world. But I
More
have
expensive than LA?
probably equal. I've been to LA. I've been to
Uh,
LA. But the thing is I've been on my own a long time. I've been working very hard for a long time because, I'm an independent, I'm not an independent woman, like I don't need no
you're an
man, but
independent artist though.
I'm an
So
independent artist. I'm an independent woman. I've been working and paying all my own bills and my rent over my head, my car, everything. So I like, I always was told like I could do a lot. I could do a lot with music. I could do it full time if I wanted. But honestly, like the fact that I have like a steady income and I have paid vacations and paid time off, for me, it's great. And I like that I can have peace of mind because for me, like I think the worst thing is to worry. I don't want to worry about money or bills. And when so COVID happened and right before COVID, I was working at my full-time job and I actually wanted to quit my job to try out for Broadway and then bartend full-time. So
Bart,
it was always a dream of mine to be on
good
Broadway.
old good old kamikazes, just handing them
Yeah,
out.
exactly. I always, yeah, I bartended for years, waitress for years. So I was going to quit my day job to focus on the music and I was going to try out for Broadway and I was going to because I took acting lessons when I was younger but never like really followed through with acting. And I was gonna quit and then I got a promotion. So I was like, all right, maybe I won't quit right now. And then COVID happened 2 months later. And I remember being very busy at my job because my job was essential. And I said to myself, God really, I'm not like a super religious person, but like I do have faith that everything happens for a reason. And somebody is looking out for me in a way because I was about to quit my job and have no job. I was going to try out for Broadway and bartend, and everything had gone, gone silent, like everything stopped. So I think about it now and like during COVID is when I started performing solo. I had my first solo showcase right before COVID, like the week before COVID happened. And then everything happened. And I was like, oh my God, I thought I was just gonna have my big break and everything was gonna turn around. And then that happened. But then I got a couple of restaurants to book me to do some like shows. And that's how I kind of got started. And then it just like ripple affected from there. I kept getting asked like to sing. I had to turn gigs down actually because I was doing so much, which was great.
It's great to turn things down.
I mean, it's not good because you want to be able to say yes to everything, but when
There's
you're
only
that
so much
busy,
time in the day.
exactly, and you have to like have time to yourself too.
Um, all right, a few more questions. So in 5 years, where do you see yourself doing?
5 years, I definitely see myself with a song on the radio. Um, I want everybody to play in their car. I want to perform it. 5 years, I see myself being on bigger stages, whether it be with my cover
You're talking
band
about
or
like out of the state
solo.
or throughout the state? Like you're talking about even like going outside of this, like in the whole like New England
Oh
area,
yeah,
or
like
like
I'd love to perform in other states, and like, when you're a musician, I feel like you always want to think, you always feel like I want big, like I want to think big, I want to do big things, I want somebody to discover me. I'm a realist, like I believe that, again, like everything happens for a reason. I think there's a lot of talent out there. I think there's people that have more time and money to utilize their talent than I do. And sometimes it feels like, I'm selling myself short, but I'm always going to try. I'm always going to have something I'm working on. I'm always going to get my name out there somehow. So I don't want to say in 5 years from now I'm going to be famous, because that's not really my goal.
you can be like
But
Sabrina Carpenter or someone like that, you know, some
I mean,
famous.
I would love to just sing and be financially capable to take care of myself, but um yeah, like the goal is, I want original music that people love. I want to create music that people love and that help me feel like, my artistry is my own,
Do you do
you
pop
know.
music, right?
So
We didn't talk about the genre, pop music, right? That's the type that you kind of lean
it's
towards.
dance. So it's kind of like an R&B meets pop dance. So it's like vocal dance. Like I would never do like any kind of like trance music, but vocal house music and
How's the EDM
R&B.
scene
I'm
up?
an R&B girl at heart.
How's the EDM scene up there?
It's pretty big. Like as far as people being into it, or
Yeah, like EDM,
yeah.
like EDM
Oh yeah,
concerts or EDM
we have
things.
parties all summer. They play, we have DJs on the beach here in the summer, and they're playing EDM in the city. Tons of EDM. Well, yeah, EDM is very big here on Long Island. But
I feel like it's
because
getting
like with
bigger. I feel like it's getting bigger.
EDM, yeah, yeah, for sure. It's that and country. Like even like country EDM like is a thing now. I think that people
Wait,
just,
wait, wait. Did you say country EDM?
yeah,
Like a combination, like country EDM, or they're separate?
yeah, like country EDM, like they take these country songs, like the
All right,
DJs, and they mix
country
them into,
EDM. I'm looking
yeah,
this up.
they take these country songs and they
Wow, I
mix
had
them
no
with like
idea.
EDM tracks. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It
No,
sounds great.
no, no shit. I had no idea that people were even doing that.
These
Huh.
DJs will mix anything with an EDM track. Like, I
Yeah,
heard a
hey,
version
Chrissy,
of
how's your audio is breaking up, so I didn't.
oh,
So
are
go
you good?
ahead.
Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah. It's okay. It was like breaking up.
Okay.
So go ahead. What were you saying? Sorry.
Oh, I was saying there's a song that I heard at a country night. They were doing country night, and like my friend's a manager of a bar that has like a big dance floor on the second floor. So they do country nights, and like all these kids, I won't say kids, but all these people, they do like line dancing, they do like country dancing to like EDM country music that was like mixed into EDM songs.
Right.
And one of the songs that I heard that I
Hmm.
was like really taken back by, I had to Shazam it. It wasn't a country song, but it was a song that they made like an ED, like a fast version of it. "Cry for Me," "Cry to Me" by it's in the movie Dirty Dancing. When your baby.
I got it. Yeah.
Da-na-na-na-na-na. I don't know if you know the song. He's like, and nobody
See, I
calls
could
you
tell the
on the
vocals right
phone.
there.
Don't
You
you
have good
feel like
vocals.
crying?
Hey, I agree.
Don't you feel like crying?
I agree. In 5 years, you're gonna expand. I got you. I agree. I'm with you on that. I think you're gonna go places.
Well, I appreciate it, and I hope so. And that's the goal.
So thank you for doing this. Where can people find your music? And
People could find me. My Instagram is Krisi_XO. It's KRISI_XO. I'm on Facebook, Krisi Ardito, Ardito. You could find me. I have a YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. It's Krisi, KRISI, Ardito, Ardito. and catch me wherever you could find my name, Krisi, Krisi. I know it's hard to differentiate the Christies and the
I
Christinas and
bet
the
I bet you get that a lot, right? People mess up the name.
oh, always. My own best friends can't even say my name right. So
You ever get like the CHRSSI or SSY or all the variations?
yeah, well my birth name is Kristen with a K. So I you know, for me when I started doing radio and music, I was like, well, I need something cool, like and cute. And so I came up with Chrissy, one S, one I. And it's like, one day people are gonna know. They're gonna know how to say it and they're gonna know how to spell it the right way without me telling them.
Yeah, I agree. I had an independent artist on a while back, and yeah, she didn't want to, she's Jessie, but she got, for some reason she created not Jessie, so that was her name. Like she didn't want to
Not
be called,
Jesse.
she didn't want to be called Jessie anymore. She wanted to be called like something else. So that's her name is not Jessie.
That's actually kind of cute though. I like that.
That's her stage name.
I wish I came up with that. Not Chrissy.
Isn't that interesting?
I think it's cool. I think it's pretty clever actually. Listen, all you need is something that just is clever and cute
Branding.
or yeah, that sticks. I couldn't think of one thing that went with my name, so I was like, it's just Chrissy.
But then people still call her Jessie, she says. It's like it's in the
Well,
name, like
that's
not
why she's
Jessie.
gonna say it's not Jesse.
But people still call her Jessie. It's funny. But
Jesse's a good
anyways,
hey, she's Jesse's girl. Everybody wishes they had Jesse's girl. So
yeah, it makes sense. All right. Chrissy, thank you again and all the best, okay?
thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. And hope you guys,
Hold on.
you know,
Real
hope you
quick,
guys
real quick, where you at next? I know you
oh tomorrow night I am at a Rugas and Patchogue with the band. So I'll be there.
and you just play through you just play the same the same bars, or do you how's your rotation?
We are a newer band, so we have like a good 4 or 5 places that we rotate in right now. And
Gotcha.
then we're building, we have a new place that we booked. I have a booking that I got us in another spot, a new spot next month. So yeah, we're starting to get out there more. It's
All right.
it's
It's the
hard, like I
mix
said,
up, right? With two
the
X's.
mix up,
Everyone
two
should.
X's,
And
two
what's the
X's.
Instagram for that?
It's the Mix Up Band official.
Everyone should check them out. And Krisi, Ardito, and thanks again. And take care. All right.
Thank you so much and having me, and we will definitely talk again soon, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
definitely, definitely. All right. Bye.
Bye.